I mean, how do I describe it? It's
bold,
a light,
black,
unapologetically black,
very funny, amusing,
caring.
You give great advice from a different perspective. Passionate,
free.
vulnerable,
a creative,
sexy.
My girl is lit as fuck.
Always ready to twerk a little something.
genuine, very genuine,
Resilient.
like sixth sense, otherworldly. If you know, you know.
it's so vibrant, baby. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Soul Vibrant, the place where music, history, and culture collide. I am your cultural storyteller, curator, and award-winning host, Andriana. It is officially graduation season, so I want to say congratulations to the class of 2026. A lot of y'all are taking that stage today or by now, and whatever level you are at, whether it is getting your high school diploma, or collegiately with your bachelor's, your master's, your doctorate, or you're going back for any of those, congratulations. I'm so proud of you. And do not let anybody downplay this milestone, okay? Because it's very interesting how when certain of us start getting degrees, now all of a sudden we're hearing conversations of how a degree don't matter, or they downplay the importance of college or having an education altogether. No. That's propaganda I'm not falling for. No. Celebrate yourself on today and carry it on with you wherever you go. You are worthy. I hope that you smush that degree all in their faces and show them the success that you're going to be. That you will be. And it got me thinking about just milestones in general. And for anybody who doesn't know what milestones are, it pretty much are the pivotal points within our lives that we achieve within our human experience. I mean, it starts as simple as for like early milestones, such as when kids learn how to walk and talk and feed themselves, or learn how to play for the first time, all the way to, you having your first car, or, the first time you achieve something such as earning your degree. But it made me also think of that we have milestones within our own personal lives or in our own personal development, such as with our own healing and owning who we are. Maybe it's the first time you finally were true with yourself. You were honest with yourself. The first time you chose to go to therapy, or you knew there was a problem, so you wanted to solve it. Or maybe you have overcome that struggle and now you're moving through the world with a better clarity. Wherever you are, that is a milestone. And so with my time away from the mic, I've also feel I have had a lot of my own milestones that I have achieved. And being fully transparent, for me, one of those was the fact that I can, without any shred of doubt, can say I love myself. I mean, that I can look in the mirror right now and be like, hello, gorgeous, I love you. The reason I love myself is because I love my fatness. I love being fat. I love being the big girl, the fat girl, the chunky girl, plus size, whatever name they're using to call us now. I own all of that. But we'll dive into that because, of course, before I get into any of the information I want to share, I have to give you my musical breaks, right? So we're going to have our first musical break, and then we'll get back to this heavy conversation. And yes, pun intended. Be right back.
I called so many times, not from a cell road. I've been reaching out for my heart and soul, probably impractical, but that's how we used to do. Hope this clarity comes through. I sincerely do. I sincerely do. I sincerely do. I hope this clarity comes through.
You are
beautiful, especially, ooh, they can't see. Busy pretending, shape shifting, wanna have your feels, but none of the meaning. Do you see you? Do you see you? Do you see you? I do. I do. I call so many times. Call so many times. Not from myself, though. I've been reaching out from the heart and soul. Probably impractical. That's how we used to do. Hope this clarity comes through. I sincerely do. I sincerely do. I sincerely do.
And that was Jill Scott with Sincerely Do off her latest album that she put out. And love Jill Scott because for me, she was always a beautiful representation of full-figured Black womanhood, like owning who you are, shining in that, growing in that. And it definitely something a plus size fat girl like me growing up needed to see and hear. And it's a well-rounded opening to begin our conversation that I want to have today about why I love my fatness and how that was central to the point of me knowing and owning the fact that I love myself. For as long as I can remember, fatness has been a part of my identity. For that reason, that's why the movements like body positivity meant so much, because it was making space for fat people to exist. However, I do feel that part of it does fall short still, because body positivity is more than just fat people wearing crop tops and bathing suits. No, it's also to talk about how we deserve our right to our humanity, to have access to quality health care, to be able to have housing and jobs, and not letting our fatness or the perceptions of our bodies in any way hinder us from that. But so little does anyone talk about the connection to the system of fatphobia and how it contributes to all of that. And I do touch on this in my episode of My Body, My Choice, when I recount my experience of having my surgery, which the reason it led to that was because of the medical and social economical effects of people perceiving my fat body as the problem instead of actually taking and listening to my symptoms and the issues that I was having. That whole process, which I'm happy to say I have fully recovered from, and in that recovery, it made me start asking questions about my own relationship with my fatness. That in order to truly love myself, I had to reckon with that. I had to get to a place where I learned to love that part of myself, because that's where all of this began. I had to do that shadow work and love the parts of myself that I tucked away, that I stored, that I dismissed, that I hidden, that I didn't want to talk about. And a lot of that surrounded my fatness. So to be able to now proudly say that I love it is pretty radical, especially living in a world that promotes such negative messages. And how I did that, because I'm pretty sure I mentally heard somebody say, well, how do you get to the process of learning yourself? Like, what did you do? Well, I'm glad you asked. Specifically, I narrowed it down to 3 reasons. The very first one, and honestly had to be the most powerful and prevalent one, was my fatness serves as a protection. Because when you are perceived of being lesser than, of being beneath people, of being somebody who easily can be controlled, or you can't compete with the standard, that's how people treat you. That's how they engage with you. And just human nature, when nobody perceives you as a threat, they tend to be more comfortable around you, more comfortable in showing you who they really are. And they show it to you quicker than they would have if they genuinely respected you. Because there's this concept in social interaction called the representative, where, just to break that down, where people, and this is just human nature, when you meet somebody or you're in a group setting for the first time, a lot of people, due to whatever reason, whether it's trauma, whether it's just feeling basic feelings of insecurity or wanting to read the room, people tend to show up in ways they think people will accept them or would want to engage, or they give a false sense of who they are, so that way they have something to lean on if the true them isn't enough, till they feel safe enough to put that away and show out who they are. See, when people interact with fat people, due to the societal norms and jokes and expectations, that representative don't show up. Because what's the need? Oh, this person fat. They ain't no threat to me. It ain't nothing that I gotta worry about. And then being a fat Black woman, in my experience, another level of that is I often get stereotyped too as everybody's mammy or comfort friend that they can tell everything to. Oh, because I'm just so sweet and so loving and so, protective, that you could just lay your burdens on me. You could just trauma dump all on me, and it's okay because I'm nurturing. I can give you the advice that you need. And I laugh as a nervous reaction because the truth is that's how I've been treated. And so you're able to see the red flags early. Now, I'm not saying that everybody is, a snake or a shady or all that, because I've also seen people be more comfortable to show who they are too, to be more forthcoming and be more easygoing. And that's why for me, it's always been easy to be a social butterfly, because I'm able to network and connect with so many different people and see them for who they are, because they instantly feel comfortable. But on the latter of that comfort also extends to those who have shady intentions, who are there to cause harm, who are there to take advantage of me or try to manipulate me. And the thing is, with my fatness, they show that part of themselves more quicker. Now, I will say, when I was growing up, I used to hate that part, because I used to hate the fact that people felt they could do that to me. But as I got older, got a little wiser, I realized that was the protection that God and my ancestors were giving me, to give me time and space to understand, oh, now you know how to navigate. Now you know how to interact with this person. Now you know where to leave them where they at and go on about your business. Another way this protection shows up in this way of navigating people with harm is especially when it comes to the dating scene and the social media, the internet age that we live in. I actually feel great when I see people proudly proclaim that they don't like flat people. They don't find them attractive. That they feel they're sloppy and all that. Because guess what? That allows me to stay away from you. Thank you, red flag, for showing yourself. Now, I don't have to play these games. I don't have to do the little small talk. No, you showed yourself. You showed your true colors. I know not to mess with you. Some social reactions, this also plays out when you get hollered at, a cat called, and it be like, hey, you cute for a fat girl. Or, oh, hey, I'm serious. I want to talk to you. Hey, I'm serious. I find you attractive. Hey. Oh, you know, I like them big. I like them fluffy. Oh, you gonna ignore me? Well, your fat ass anyway. I don't know nobody want you. Fat bitch. I say that because it has happened. And in all those times, it's like, ain't nothing physically changed about me within that interaction. I was fat when you saw me, and I was fat when I rejected you. And that made me think of something else. Because don't dare to be a fat person that has standards. How dare we reject advances? Who are we to deny people access to us? Because society teaches them that nobody in the world wants a fat person. Nobody's naturally attracted to us. So we should just accept any and every person that chooses to want us. I can laugh about it now, but people be so serious. That's why you see the little shady comments under people's pictures, especially when fat people post pictures with their partners and the partner is muscular or conventionally attractive, and people will say things like, oh, I wonder how she got him. Oh, how they got together. Or the real shady one, oh, and here I am single. How little do you think of fat people for you to deny them being seen as beautiful, being seen as desirable, or being worshipped? When historically, before the Eurocentric and white supremacist view, fat bodies were adorned. Honestly, the more fat person had on them meant the wealth that they had. And it wasn't until the definition and identity of whiteness chose to look down upon that when people who weren't white, i.e. black people, who were also fat, and they had to change their ideology real quick to justify oppressing and enslaving us. And that mentality still stands. So the point of all that is, I am now at a space where I'm so grateful to see people who openly show disdain or disgust or whatever problem they have. Because that reminds me that the problem isn't me. So thank you for showing yourself. And I am grateful for this protection. The second reason I love my fatness is because it gave me a true sense of resilience. Now, with my identity as a black woman, that word resilience brings up a lot of emotions. Because within the black community, resilience is a word that burdens black women. We are always being told how resilient we are and so worthy of love and protection because of it. Basically, what we hear or what we're being told codedly is that we have to earn their right to be loved. We have to put up with so much trauma and so much heartache and so much things and be able to survive it. And as a reward for surviving and striving and pushing past it, we now get softness. We now get love. And that's only short-lived, because then we are still expected to shoulder the entire community. A community that still doesn't show up for us when we need them, when we need the help. And we see that especially now with everything going on with the intimate partner and domestic violence cases that are consistently happening. So when people hear the word resilience, I know it can bring up many different things. But with my identity as fatness, it allowed me a space to reclaim that word of resilience and know how I could build my own self up and shine my own way in a way that was true for me, to know that my existence was already enough. Growing up fat as well, another aspect or stereotype that's thrown at you, you're automatically labeled as somebody who has to work to achieve something because you're meant to fail. Because I'm fat. Growing up, I wasn't automatically seen as the pretty girl or the girl worth being in the front. So I had to shine or prove myself in other ways. And how this typically shows up in fat girls is that we have to be the funny girl. We have to be the smart girl, the academic one. We have to consistently smell good, consistently look good, or put ourselves together. We can't lack nowhere else. Because then automatically we're sloppy, we're messy, don't care about ourselves. So we have to perform in all these ways. But what I found the power in doing that is that it gave me ways to try to find things about me that were unique. It gave me space to look at other avenues of what beauty could mean, of what my worth can be. What other ways can I show creativity? What other ways can I shine? Can I glow? And as I got older in this age, I realized those things that I ventured into were the things that made me authentic. During my healing journey, I talk about how I found out, or how I've been realizing, that the more I healed myself, the more I was connecting with things that I loved as a child, or I loved in my teenage years. So by piecing and connecting all those together, I am really building up my own resilience. I saw my worth. I saw that my existence was enough. Because hell, I'm amazing. Like, look at how colorful. Look at how I express myself. Honestly, you get to a point where you have no choice but to be authentic, because that's what's left. For all my people, especially my fat people, go to those moments of those things you chose to explore about yourself, that you were using to prove to the world that you were worthy. Think about those things. And then instead of thinking about the world, think about you. How that made you shine. How that made you connect to yourself. And that is the thread that navigates you back to the love for you. Or at least that's what it did for me. Because baby, I tell you, when I connected them dots, your girl started to glow.
I just want to grow with you. I want to go higher and higher and higher. Lilies, sunflowers, and daisies. I'll nourish you daily. Need plenty of room to grow. You think it's easy to sprout from a seedling? fuck up your roots. Flora and fauna, show me how you wanna be water. Flowers that do my garden with ease, 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 ease. Flora and fauna, we can be the soil for each other. Flowers that do my garden with ease, ease, ease. Sunlight feels so warm, been winter for way too long. Springtime makes us whole, greenhouses that we call home. I'm gonna sacrifice what it takes, stay within the update. Growth is where magic's made, the time it took to orchestrate. It's intuitive, the bullshit will weed out in time. What you say now? Primrose and cosmos, we build a bouquet. Flourish and fragrance, even in the shade. Learn from each other and grow from a shoot. But I won't pluck you and fuck up your roots. Flora and fauna, show me how you wanna be water. Flowers that do my garden with ease. Ease, what? Ease, ease. Flora and fauna, puffin' on that good marijuana. Flowers that do my garden with trees. THC, need my weed, weed. You know, I just wanna grow with you. I wanna go higher and higher and
And that was the talented group by the name of God, spelled Gawd, with Duran Bernard with Flaunt's. And I love that song, especially the part that goes, Ace, Ace, Ace. I love that part of that song because, to be honest, when you really love all the intricate parts of yourself, that it comes with such ease that it literally feels like you're just floating through your life, like nothing can break you, nothing can touch you, despite whatever happens around you. Like at the core of everything, you know, at least you're safe in yourself, you're solid in yourself. With that being said, it leads to my very last reason of why I love my fatness, which is a concept that I learned recently, as recent as this month, is that I love my fatness because my soul chose it to fulfill my purpose. I'll explain. That was actually inspired by two situations that happened. One is I had a conversation with a friend who, after have a conversation about my surgery and the recovery and everything I discovered with it, my friend asked me a question in the lines of, don't you feel a way? And it kind of got spiritual because she was like, especially when talking to God and praying and in those moments, didn't that make you feel a way about God putting you in that body, knowing that you would have to go through all that? When you feel a way? And I remember hearing myself answer her, because I had an out-of-body experience when thinking back to that, is how I realized, I was like, no, I didn't feel a way. If anything, it expanded my awareness, being this body, to give me a new chance to experience different ways of life, of having a different journey than everybody else. So it gave me a newfound sense of empathy, a newfound sense of there are more ways to live my life. And I'm grateful that I was given the opportunity to navigate something different than the rest of the world. And even I had to sit back and think, oh, where did that come from? Like, what? But then that made me think of a concept that I read about. I think it was like back in college when I started going on my spiritual journey. And honestly, that's a whole nother conversation, but I'll pull this part forward to explain that. Basically, it was saying that before we come to this earth, before we are even born, that regardless of what you believe in, whether it is God, whether it is Allah, whether it's the universe or a higher power, we are souls to fulfill a specific duty, a specific work, a purpose. Make a deal to do that within a certain vessel. So when we come into this world, the bodies that we come into, that is what our soul agreed is the best vessel to carry out that purpose. And I want to say this before I go into further explanation of this. This same concept also applies to my individuals that identify as non-conforming and trans. Because it was the world that socialized you and told you who you were. But the truth is, your soul already knew who you were. And I understand for your protection, for your growth, for just general exploration, and in discovering who you are, you appease the world. You conform to the world. But your soul knew the whole time who you needed to change and grow into. Watching y'all has been one of the greatest inspirations as well of teaching me how this process looks too. But as I was saying, in that moment where I was talking to my friend and I was saying that, it made me think of my soul saw this fat black woman body and said, what I'm here to do, I'm going to do it in this body. I'm meant to do it in this body. And I love this body so much that there's no other possible way that this can get done without it. So for me, it became a question of, what did my soul see in this body that I had that was so special, that was so unique, that was so vital for me to exist in, so I can fulfill this purpose that it signed up for? In a way, it became my journey to figure that out. So connecting back with the protection, connecting back with the sense of resilience and the things I found unique about myself, all of that combined showed me a deeper love and appreciation for myself. And just to say this, I know someone is going to hear this conversation and going to want to play devil's advocate and say things or think things like, well, what about people with disabilities or people who have chronic illnesses in their bodies? How does this apply to them? How does this work with them? And my retort for that is it really the bodies of these individuals that's the problem? Or is it the way the world treats these individuals in these bodies? Because as somebody with a background of special education, all the way to having personal relationships with people who do have chronic illnesses, who do have disabilities, I have witnessed how collectively as a society, we don't make space for them. We don't always understand and make and give the correct information for us to see them in their fullness. I mean, from lack of proper accommodations, modifications, from funding to resources, to just simply educating people of how to interact with one another, or allow us to see and include people, actively include them. Not just doing it for sport or doing this for a segment or doing this for an image. How in the world do you expect a person to have a healthy quality of life when you teach them every inch of the way to hate themselves? There is no way to hate yourself into a healthy living. I understand fully now the saying that says the love of your life should be the love of your life. Because my willingness to journey and ask and dive deep within myself to pull out the parts that once brought me shame, that once brought me heartache, what I thought, or the parts that I was taught to hate myself the most, end up being the key to showing me my true power, my true capacity for love, and how deep and wide and expansive that was for me. The way I'm able to pour into myself now and give the world or my community the overflow, as my good friend says, and that I can replenish it, that I can repair it, that I can endlessly connect with it, but also learn how to protect it, how to preserve it, and how to have that strong discernment in doing that with my community and others. And when I say discernment, I'm not just talking about in decision making or being able to judge people well, or even though it does include those things. But what I mean is also having that intuition, trusting yourself to use your background, your experiences to truly learn from them, to see what you were being taught in that moment. Or maybe you weren't being taught at all and shit just happened. But based on it, how you choose to move on or to move forward. Because life is worth living, but we have to do the work to live it. Get out your own way. At least that's what I had to do. I want you to be able to confidently say you love all of you, all your imperfections, all your goodness, all your ugliness, all your confusion, just like I can. And be as raw and honest and upfront about it. But I'll leave you with that. I'll get off my soapbox for now. But of course, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or you just want to say, hey, I am on all social medias, but specifically Facebook.com, Queen Lady AC. On Instagram and Threads, it is _ I am Lady AC. And on X and or Twitter, it is capital I am Lady AC. And of course, to continue to support your girl as I make this quality content, I humbly ask for donations in those to my PayPal, www.paypal.me/Queen Lady AC, and the Q is capitalized. So until next time, y'all, love every inch and essence of yourself, or at least work to get there. And if you don't know where to start in the parts that you don't want to touch yet, because that's usually where the healing is. The harder or the more you hesitate with it, that's where you'll find the greatest change. Trust me. Ask me how I know. Until then, love you. Have a great day. Congratulations again to my graduates.